Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Crystal and I'm a mom of 3 beautiful babies. And this video, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys all about C-sections because there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known or things that I wish I'd have remembered before I went in for my C-section. I'm a mom of a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 1-week-old. I recently had my baby about 10 days ago via C-section, and I'm still currently in my recovery, and I kind of wanted to touch on that and really talk about the whole process of going through the C-section and then recovering from it, because there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known, and I think this video is going to be so helpful to maybe a lot of you who are getting ready to have a C-section or have just gotten it and are looking forward to your recovery. So let's get started. And I also wanted to mention I have my baby right next to me. He'll be joining us. Even though you can't see him, you'll probably be able to hear him. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was the amount of pain to look forward to. So before your C-section, whether you're having one with narcotics or without, they tell you all about the numbing and about how you're not really going to be feeling much at first, but the spinal or all of the numbing injections, they will wear off, and that's when you're really going to start to feel your pain. So just remember that in the beginning it might not be so bad. It gets worse until it gets better. So prepare yourself to have a hard time moving. Now, with all of that pain you're going to be feeling, it's going to be extremely hard to move around. So try your best to avoid any of those things. If you need a cough, maybe try clearing your throat first. Or if you're going to sneeze, try your best to avoid that sneeze. And do not let anyone funny come and visit you for at least the first 3 days, because you are not going to be able to handle their jokes. So make sure you're prepared for that. As far as getting in and out of bed, it's going to be extremely hard. When you're in the hospital, they have those beds where you're at an incline. And so that's going to make it a lot easier for you to get in and out. Now, whenever you go home, you can't really expect that. So what I suggest is to prop yourself up anywhere you fit. If it's easier on the couch, to prop yourself up and sleep sitting down, then do that. Or if you can do it on your bed, that'll work too, because whenever you're using your core muscles to lay down and to get up, it is just not worth it. It's not worth that struggle and the pain it takes to do that, because you are going to feel so much pain. It's going to feel so bad that you're going to think, holy cow, did I just open up my incision? Because that is exactly what I thought when I got up for the very first time after laying down flat. And I was terrified. I went to the bathroom and I had to look at a mirror at my incision just to make sure it was still together, because I really had thought that I had really opened it up. So make sure that you are supporting yourself whenever you're getting in and out of bed. Now, I know that you're going to be stuck in your bed for a while. And so another thing that I feel like will be super helpful is to have some sort of diaper caddy. Now, a diaper caddy is just something that you can carry all of your things in one place, whether it's an actual caddy or if it's just a basket or a box to put your things in. You need to have all those things next to you. So some of the things that I have in my diaper caddy are diapers, wipes, diaper rash cream, an extra outfit, breastfeeding pads, all of my medications, and all of my pump parts that I need for pumping. And all of those things are super handy to have next to you so that you're not constantly having to get up to go get them. And it's super easy if you have everything as close to you as possible. So I recommend before you go in to have your C-section, go ahead and set up your place. So set up your bed or your couch, prop those pillows up to help you sleep better, and have your diaper caddy right next to you waiting. And another thing to help with that pain is those binders that they give you at the hospital. You want to wear that binder. I know it's not comfortable. I know it hurts, but trust me, you are going to feel so much supported whenever you're actually trying to use those muscles. And that's why they recommend it, because you're going to support yourself. And also with that support, you're going to want to wear a pad inside of your underwear on top of your incision. Now, a pad is going to be really good for that extra support and cushion, so that anything that grazes along your midsection you won't feel it, because that pad will be there to protect it. And it's also going to help with any draining or leaking from your incision. It's going to keep it nice and dry so that you're not going to have any problems, and it lowers your risk for infection. So I definitely recommend that binder and that pad, because those things will help you so much, especially in your first week of recovery. Another thing is, if you are planning on getting any kind of recovery underwear or underpants, I actually currently have some on and it feels great. But keep in mind, it's extremely hard to put it on and take it off. And you're going to be having a lot of bathroom breaks. I really recommend you keep that hospital mesh underwear as long as you can, because you're not going to be feeling up to taking off tight undergarments about 2 weeks out, because it's going to be extremely hard to do that. So just keep using the mesh underwear or any kind of just really loose fitting granny panties, whatever you have around that's easy to put on, that's not so tight. And with that binder, it's really going to come in handy. Now, whenever you're ready to move up to any kind of compression underwear or wearing any kind of Spanx or something, that will actually take place of the binder. And so you're going to want to wear something like that as long as it takes to feel 100% better. So they say at C-section it takes about 12 weeks to fully recover, and I really recommend wearing those kind of undergarments that whole 12 weeks, because you are really going to need it, and it's really going to help with your comfort during your recovery. Now, another thing with pain, you want to stay on top of your pain medicine. Whether you're on hydrocodone, T3s, or even if it's tramadol, those things you really need to stay on top of at least that first week of your recovery, because you're going to need it. Unless you're hardcore and you can make it alone with ibuprofen and Tylenol, that's good for you. Even with that ibuprofen and Tylenol, you really want to make sure that you're taking it, because if you miss a dose, even for a couple hours, you are going to feel it. And it's going to take longer for you to catch up to feel comfortable again. So be on top of your pain meds. I recommend getting a notebook and dedicating just a space to write down what time you took what and how you're alternating it. So it really helps you keep up with it. And if you have any kind of timers, set your timers, because as a new mom, you're going to be dealing with lack of sleep. You're not going to be thinking right. It's going to take a while for you to get it together. So I definitely recommend writing it all down. Another thing to remember whenever you are feeling your pain is that you're going to feel more pain on one side of your body. Whatever side that your doctor is on, you're going to feel more pain on that side, because they're pulling and they're tugging on that side to get your baby out. And it feels absolutely awful. The part, I would say the first top 3 inches or so above your C-section scar, that is where the most pain is going to come from. It's going to be nerve damage, and it's also going to be that awful numbing feeling where it's numb, you can't feel it, yet it hurts. So look out for that pain and make sure that you expect it and that you know that everything is okay. Don't worry about it. It is normal. Along with all of that, you are going to have a really hard time with cramping, with using the restroom, both number 1 and number 2, and also any kind of gas pain. Now, remember that they have to take out some of your organs and some of your parts to take out the baby, because you have to get in there. And so whenever they put them back, or even whenever everything is going back to normal, your body is still adjusting and it's still trying to figure out its right place. And so it's gonna hurt for you to use the restroom. Sometimes whenever you go to the bathroom, your bladder will actually hurt, like if it did when you were pregnant, when you had all that pressure from the baby hitting on your bladder. And you know what? That's absolutely normal. And whenever you go to the restroom the other way, you will have cramping. It will hurt. You will have to use your muscles to push. And so it's going to be very uncomfortable and it is going to hurt. So just make sure that you're taking stool softeners or soft laxatives, because you're going to need all the help you can get, cleaning up that system and making sure that you do not get constipated, because that's going to make everything much more painful. Now, moving on, I want to talk about breastfeeding, because breastfeeding is a lot different in the beginning whenever you have a C-section, because it is extremely painful for you to have to hold your baby on top of your midsection and feed your baby. It's going to be extremely hard for you in the very beginning to feed your baby, because you have to prop yourself up correctly and you have to hold your baby and control him or her wherever they're feeding. It's going to be really hard for you to use your core strength to support your baby. So It will be painful, but it will be worth it. If you can get your baby to latch right away after a C-section, that is the goal. Now, if you can't, it is okay to let your baby have a bottle. It will not affect your breastfeeding. I promise. I have done this 3 times. And all of my babies were bottle fed in the very beginning and breastfed. They were mostly bottle fed because it was extremely hard to breastfeed. So my trick is to just let your baby latch at least 1 time a day. Because if you at least do that, they will remember how to latch, and that milk does come from your breasts. Because sometimes babies, they're so used to that bottle, they want it fast, they want it quick, and it's fast flowing. And with breastfeeding, they have to work a little harder to get your let down. So you want to latch at least 1 time a day, so that whenever you're ready and your milk is fully in and your pain is under control, your baby will be ready to eat and you'll be ready to breastfeed. Now, another thing I want to talk about is you want to look out for how many days it takes for your milk to come in. Some women are lucky and it comes in like day 2. Now, with C-sections, you are not releasing a hormone called oxytocin whenever you push your baby out. And so it takes a little bit longer for your body to realize, oh, the baby's out. And then it starts to release it, and then it starts to identify, oh, this baby needs milk. So it might take a little longer. Mine always takes about 5 days. This time it took 4, but I think it's because I'm a pro breastfeeder and my body already recognizes that it needs to feed a baby. So make sure you're keeping your baby fed. Do not feel guilty for giving your baby a bottle, because in the very beginning, a fed baby is the best. It doesn't matter if it's bottle or formula. And you know what, even later on, if you need a supplement, however long you need a supplement, you just need to make sure that your baby is fed and healthy. I breastfed my other kids for about a year, and I really plan on going for at least a year with this one as well. It is very much so possible to breastfeed with a C-section. So another thing with C-sections is that you want to at least pump if you're not going to be breastfeeding in the very beginning. You want to stimulate your breast to let them know, hey, you need to feed your baby. So the more stimulation, the better, because you can really increase your supply and even help your milk come in sooner. So keep that stimulation at least every 2 to 3 hours. Every time your baby has a bottle is really every single time that you need to be pumping, or you need to at least do that 1 latch, because you really need to keep up with your supply. So I know that's a lot easier in the hospital because you're going to have nursing staff helping you, or you're going to have family helping you. But whenever you get home, it's also very important that you take care of yourself and that you're able to manage supplementing, breastfeeding, or bottle feeding, any of those things. You'll need to stay on top of it, because if you miss a feeding, or if you're doing too much, you're signaling to your body, hey, you don't need to make as much milk, or you need to make more. So make sure that you don't miss a feeding so you're keeping up with your baby's needs. So moving on, whenever you are finally home and you're ready to kind of start getting your normal back, you are going to want to get up and start getting things done and enjoy your baby, and maybe go play with the other kids or anything like that. You have to remember to slow down, because the more you are taking it easy, the better it is for your recovery. Now, if you're doing so much every single day, your body is going to consistently be in that recovering from you going so hard and from you doing so much. So make sure you're taking it easy. Now, on top of that, make sure you're not just laying around at the same time, because the more you actually do get up to your limitation, you are going to really make your body adjust and get used to getting up, and you're going to be using those muscles. You're going to be strengthening those muscles. So don't overdo it and don't underdo it. You want to find your special medium and stick to that. Trust me, you will get there. I am about 10 days out from my C-section, and I'm already able to move around. I'm already cooking, I'm doing the laundry, I'm up cleaning around, but I'm making sure that I'm taking breaks and I'm not lifting too heavy things. They tell you that you can only lift up to 10 pounds, or about the weight of your baby. So you want to make sure that you're not lifting anything heavy, you're not straining yourself to do anything at all. Make sure you're really taking care of your body. Okay, so I want to touch base on another thing. Whenever you have your baby, the kind of diet that you need to be on is any kind of diet that's going to benefit your body in the healing process. So that saying of you are what you eat is completely true. Your body is going to need to be healing from the inside out, and so you want to make sure that whatever you're eating, it's at least somewhat healthy. You want to have things in moderation, and you want to stick to foods that's really going to benefit you, and at least have a vegetable or fruit with every meal, because honestly those are the things that's going to really help boost your healing. And you want a scar that's going to be beautiful. You do not want an ugly keloid scar. All of my scars have been keloid, and I know sometimes the doctor does have something to do with it, with the way they either stitch you up or if it's staples or anything like that. I know it has a big thing to do with it, but also what you eat as well. You want to make sure that you're feeding your body healthy foods to help that scar not be as bad. And also, after your C-section, they make special scar treatments for C-sections. And I know a lot of people don't know about that, but they do. So after the first 12 weeks, you'll be ready to go ahead and get those scar healing treatments and applying them. That's definitely something that I plan on doing. So I really hope that you take something away from this video and really learn a few things of what you're going to need to look forward to. I really hope that I help some of you recover better and have really good tips for you to keep comfortable. And just remember that this is temporary. You are going to feel amazing. You are going to feel better, and you're going to get through it. And of course, the very last thing is make sure you have plenty of help. Recovery with a C-section is a lot harder, especially if you have other kids. You need to be prepared. Ask your family, a friend, a neighbor, anyone around you that knows you and that you're close to. Make sure that you find someone to help you, because it's going to be extremely rough that first week. So that's going to be it for my video. If you really liked it, please make sure to give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, y'all.